A Gottlieb Spider-Man MPU driver board and power supply that came in for repair, and I guess this game hadn't been turned on for a long time. The driver board had the transistor that drives the knocker locked on, and when I originally booted this MPU, it did the same thing. So when you get your boards back, either disconnect your knocker and measure the resistance to that coil to make sure that that's not fried. Also, the 3X bonus lamp wasn't working, and I ended a 1-pin connector for the grounds, which I'll supply a wire harness for. For the MPU, now this is a weird one. U2 was toast on the MPU, so I took it out and replaced it with one of the daughter cards from Ed at Great Plains Electronics, which I like because it creates redundant signal paths between the U2 and the U3 socket. I added a NVRAM, replaced the input filter cap, and one of the 7448s over here was causing segment C to lock on. And the last thing I found out was when I was testing and got to test 19, which is display test, the 6502 processor in there was causing that test to lock up and fail. I don't know why. My hypothesis is it was trying to access an address space that processor was just dead in. So I have replaced it with an NOS processor. So let's get back to the game and put it through its tests. You can see it's operating properly. I have a 7-digit display at player 1. I might convert my game to all 7-digit displays someday. So let's test it. Actually, let me go through and clear out all this memory. So the user can set his own high scores when he gets it back too. Now we're into lamp test. So you hear the characteristic 2 clicks of 2 relays and then the coin door. And then all of the lamps start to cycle. And this 3X one was the one that was locked on. I've got LEDs in here. Some people call that sacrilege. I don't know. I kind of like them in this game anyway. You can see all the lamps are working properly. And the next test is test 17. It's coil test, and you'll be able to hear these fire. And the next test is switch test. And I'll use my homemade tester here to go down column 1. And I won't do switch 7 because that is the diagnostic switch. And now I'm in row 1. And this shows that all those switches are working properly. Press the diagnostic switch to get to display test, and this is where that other 6502 would cause the board to lock up. And this is where I also saw that segment C was locked on for our players 3 and 4. So you can see those are working properly, and also the 1 is working properly, which is driven by different circuitry on a System 80 MPU than the rest of the digits are. So after this finishes 3, that shows that each of the segments on each of the displays is working properly. And the last test, 20, is memory test. And it should show a 99, which it just did, so we're in good shape. So I am going to play a little Spider-Man and then get these boards back to the client. Thank you so much for sending them. I always like to find another Spider-Man owner.